We are building a 64-acre conservation area right smack dab in the middle of 6.2 million people. That is absolutely remarkable.
Hi, my name is Freya Witten, and I'm the Program Manager for Terrestrial Restoration with Credit Valley Conservation. So here at this site, I am overseeing all of the features that are on the terrestrial side. So that is planting 17,500 trees and shrubs in our forested areas as well as in the riparian areas around the wetlands. The creation of our grassland habitats, so we're creating 12 hectares of grassland, as well as doing the topsoil securement. I'm also managing the invasive species control that's going on site, as well as the future habitat enhancement features that we are going to be creating. Overall, the species and habitats selected took into consideration the provision of food and resting habitat for migratory birds and butterflies as they move up and down the lake each year. The creation of the swamp and upland forested areas also pick up on the flows between the two water features and act to deter people from accessing the wastewater treatment plant. We've now moved down to what we're considering our lower bowl, or our future swamp. And in this area, you'll see that we've actually started getting some cattails forming. There is some standing water there, so it's very exciting to see that what we were hoping would happen is actually happening. As we continue to build this conservation area, we've brought in so far 41,000 cubic meters of topsoil. We still have lots to go though. So unfortunately, like all urban areas, invasive species are an issue here at Lakeview. As you can see behind me is the old shoreline, which when we came to site did have lots of invasives on it. And we've also seen other species come in since we've been creating the site. So some of the methods we're using to control the invasive species range from herbicide application, where we use a backpack sprayer for spot spraying, or we use an ATV sprayer for those areas like the old shoreline, where we're doing a mass spraying of basically the entire ground cover. For other areas, we're able to do hand pulling as well as hand spading. So obviously in the wetlands, where the flowering rush and the phragmites are coming in, we're not going to use herbicides because of the standing water, so those areas are being hand pulled. Or if there's lightly scattered garlic mustard throughout an area, we'll hand pull that as well. We're back up on our upland forested area. So as you can see, the trees are nice and small right now. Most of our stock has come from our nursery up in Warwick, which is in Caledon. Some of the species we aren't able to grow ourselves, and so we have to purchase them in. So to date, we've seeded over 2 hectares of grassland area. So the majority of that is found in this meadow area. However, there are smaller sections around the forested areas that we've planted up that are also been seeded. The seed mixes that we're using are slightly different depending on if it's the grassland versus under the trees and shrubs in the riparian area or the upland area. So to further sort of increase the diversity of our site, we're hoping to add in lots of habitat enhancement features. So this can range from something simple as a brush pile, which those we've already started doing in some of the areas, to actually adding in habitat structures such as bird boxes or bat boxes or raptor poles. We're also looking to do some nodal planting of herbaceous species. So in our meadow areas, that's looking at bringing in some species that are either not thriving or not doing as well as we'd like, or that we weren't able to get when we were purchasing our seed mix, and so they're on the list, but we haven't been able to actually get any here. As well as in our forested areas, we're looking to increase the diversity of actually having some herbaceous species. So the seed mix we're using is obviously a sun-loving seed mix because right now there's no shade. So the idea is that once the trees start to shade out the species we have here, we can then bring in some herbaceous plants which would normally be found in a forest. Obviously where we are, there is no forest here to seed into this area. So the idea is bringing in some of those species to create a more diverse habitat.